where you end up, what lake you're on, could make the whole difference of your enjoyment. I got friends, they're on a lake, it's got a motorized control. You can't drive a big boat on that lake, you have to have a little tiny motor only. Think about land location first. People get all wrapped up, they go in this beautifully staged home that really no one can live in that way, and it's all painted, it's perfect, new siding, granite counters, like all of that. But when you look out your kitchen window, you're looking right in your neighbor's window. You go look out your backyard and you're down below people that are looking down at you. Like, really? So watch out, you don't get all overwhelmed about the building until you make sure the land it's sitting on is what you want. I would say that a $1 million cottage on the big lakes is actually a tear down on a nice lot, where $1 million cottage on the little lakes is a year-round home. You're in the 20 million range to get a beautiful property like this. I don't know if you can find a property like this on the small lakes unless you were to start going really north to the really little undeveloped lakes up there. I'm going to put a lot of emphasis on the value because of the land. I mean, yes, the building is spectacular, but I've actually sold properties like this with a far inferior building for millions because of the land. That is what you're buying. You're really buying land plus improvements. When you expect an exorbitant value for your home, you better have nice water. You need a good lake. If you're on a pond, maybe your home's not worth how much you think it is, because it may be the same building as the one on the big lake, but the water makes all the difference. If you are all about, like I've got one client, they want to develop something in the future. They don't care, they want the land. It's way more important to them that they've got something that they can develop and build and renovate, which is really a good attitude to take, because you can always improve the buildings. You can't do anything with the land. Turn down all kinds of really cool looking buildings because they're like next door is a neighbor on one side, another neighbor on this side, and that's not what they're looking for. Lake Rosso, probably the most expensive real estate that we have, $5 million property. And we go out on the dock and we're looking at a $10 million property, and we go out on the dock and guess what? The one consistent thing, it was jackhammers, bulldozers, saws, like people building cottages all day long. Why would you buy $10 million property and listen to that all day? Now, it has to happen. People want to build their new cottages, but do you care? Does the noise matter? Or are you one of the people that wants to make the noise so you don't matter? It doesn't matter. Maybe you want to build a garage or giant dock, but it's good knowledge to have, and you want your expert to be able to tell you about the lakes. Where I live about 5 kilometers from Highway 11. I sit in my deck, enjoying the peace and tranquility and listen to the highway go by. This here, where I sit right now, all I hear is crickets, birds, a little breeze. Sometimes it's a real good idea for you just to take a moment when you're looking at a property and listen. Just listen, because that'll tell you so much. I mean, there are cottages literally where you're looking at the bridge and cars ripping by, and the guy's got this beautiful beach cottage and a plane on the beach. And I drive by going, what? You're trying to get away from the noise of the city. Water like Joe and Rosso and Muskoka, all grand lakes to be on for people who are boating enthusiasts. If you're a fishing or a nature lover, you might want to stay away from those lakes, or get on a little bay on one of those lakes where it's a little quieter. You want your expert to understand what kind of lake you want to be on. What do you want to use the lake for? Are you a big swimmer? Are you a big fisher? Like algae, you might have a very, very healthy fish lake. Because of that, you might have more algae. But if you love fishing, bonus, right? Where if you are the type of person, I had a friend, he would dive in the lake and he would swim laps back and forth down the lake. He couldn't handle algae. So he was on a nice clear lake. Lake of Bays, crystal clear water. You can see so far down, it's amazing. You get into the Huntsville lakes, it starts getting blacker. That's because of lumber, iron, tannins in the water. So it makes the water look blacker. It's not necessarily anything wrong with the lake. It's still a good clear lake. And I've got people that are always looking and they'll say, hey, what about this one? And I can tell them, not that lake, or not for what you want. Or, you know, what about this one? Oh yeah, definitely. Or I'll just call them and say, we found your lake, you know. But it's important because the lakes make a difference. Can you get at it in the winter? Or do you have like this massive, massive steep driveway? You know, when you're going to a cottage in the summer and you're driving down this big, exciting driveway, no one even thinks about what it's going to be like in the winter. They think, oh, this is great, we love it. And they're not realizing that, first of all, you're going to need a four-wheel drive. You're going to need someone to be salting and sanding that driveway all winter long. It needs to be kept up. You let it go for a week and you're done. You're not using that driveway for the rest of the winter. So things like that you want to keep in mind. Access. I've been in cottages where I can't get to the water. The first thing I do when I go to look at a cottage with clients is we come to the water. First thing. We want to see, how's the lake? This is why we're buying a cottage. How's the shoreline? Does it have beach, rock? I mean, some people want the rock, some people want the beach. What's really, really cool about this property is it's got all this nice path all the way along the waterfront, which is just amazing for taking walks, taking the dog for a walk. So you can take a wheeled item up and down, and he's designed this home to try to be as natural with the landscape, the rocks, all that as he could. Have you got a view? Or are you tucked in the bay? Do you have sun? Or are you in the shade? So those are all things that you want to think about considering waterfront. One thing, I mean, oh my goodness, you ask Anzie, what is the most important thing about a property? I would right away say location, location, location. But do you know what Anzie says? Internet, internet, internet. Today, things have changed. A house is no good if you don't have good internet, especially for the people that like to work from home, which a lot of people are doing. We found the right property, it ticked all the boxes. And then we asked about internet. Oh yeah, no, we don't have internet. So something to ask. And there are areas where the internet is lightning fast, and there are areas where you're dealing with bush cable. And I don't know if 10 means anything to you, but to me that means I'm not getting my job done. So check that out, ask those questions. I hope that you've got some tidbits that you can use here, or if you're even looking for a house, like pass this on. I think there's some good information, and find an expert, get good guidance. You have a realtor that was a builder that can help you.